Hi, welcome to Renee with Real Estate. My name is Renee Ruth, and this...
Fred Jackson.
What's up? I know it's not Chad.
Hey, I'm filling in for you.
Filling it. Yeah, we got you. Chad has gone west, young man.
Yeah.
And he is...
West Side.
He's still west. Actually, if you grew up in the Christian community, you may remember Michael W. Smith. Did you hear Michael W. Smith? Was that in your circles? Okay, that might have been in Christian music. So Michael W. Smith was a Christian music artist, and he wrote a song called "Go West, Young Man," and I've been singing it to Chad every day. Go West, young man, and it's good. Let Eva go east. You didn't ever know Michael? I'm not even gonna say why that is. But we're here to talk about real estate today. And actually, the topic today, I told Fred, I was like, we're going to talk about knowing when to hold them and knowing when to fold them. And that's another song. Do you know that song?
I just know the chorus.
You got to know when to hold them.
I just know the whole.
Know when to fold. That's all I know.
That's all I know.
That's all I know. And I picture it, and I know it because of the Muppet Show. Do you remember the Muppet Show?
The Muppet Show. Yep.
He was on there, and they were in a train with the monster. What was the red one? The drummer and
Animal.
Animal. He was in there with Animal, and then the other two, and they're playing cards. And somehow that song, and that's all I remember from my childhood. But that's how I know that bit of the song. Yeah. But we're gonna apply this. Okay. We're applying this to real estate now. Fred has been licensed. You were on here.
Probably August or September.
Was it that long ago?
When I first got my license.
Just got his license. So he's been licensed now for, is it half a year?
Yeah.
Yo. Now life changes happen. So he got a day job and a night job. And actually we're going to do a podcast about this later. The duality, but that's not today's. That's going to be a future, like, getting yourself started. But you've been in, and you were hustling the scene, and he got himself a few, like you're getting
some leads and getting some clients I'm working with. But I'm really interested to hear what we're going to speak about, because I have a feeling I might need to apply into how the song go. You
gotta know when to hold them, know when to fold them, know when to walk away. This is a friend. Know when to run. You better count your money. Know when to walk away, know when to run. So our business is built on lead. Basically, we're independent contractors, and it's crazy because though Fred had been in sales before, like really quick backstory, you were in sales before.
Yep, I was in the wireless industry.
Yeah.
And for over a decade. So.
And that was sales, but you weren't 1099.
No.
So the wireless industry pays you, and then you're bonused. Right. So he actually, I convinced him to leave kind of a brick and mortar where people are coming in to see you to a virtual scene where you got to go find them.
Yep.
So it's a whole different animal. But we talked briefly too, like even in the cell phone industry, you kind of had to feel people out.
Correct. Yeah, because everything that came through the store, you still had your people who were just looking around or just seeing what's available. But I still had to bring in my personal leads or personal
to
get
sales. Your quota.
So
you still had to generate. So this is the thing. As you're generating business in real estate, you're hunting down these people that you're wanting to help. And I think that's the thing, right? Like I've taught Fred. Fred has done this even in his previous career. We actually want to help people.
Yeah.
Like we
That's the name of the game.
We want to help them.
I truly enjoy helping people.
Yeah. Achieve. Prior to this, getting cell phone plans and putting, wireless systems together. And then in this industry, helping people acquire wealth, build a future for themselves.
Yeah.
And so I think for me, and so now I'm speaking 5 years into this company, 7 years into real estate, right? So I'm a bit ahead of him, and he's talking kind of like fresh off the boat.
In marketing, there's going to be a small percentage of people that you need to buy, and you need to get those reviews from.
The ones that are going to go.
Who's going to buy it first day on the market? Who's going to buy it at top dollar? Because they're the ones who personally love like those type of electronics, or that's their hobby. They love music. They love the TVs. They love, the home audio systems.
I'm one of them. That new iPhone comes out, I'm like, cha-ching.
Yeah, you are. Yes, you are.
They could call me.
And I use your review so I can get mine.
Yeah.
Renee, how you like your phone?
I love it.
Great. I'm getting the exact same model.
So, next thing you know, Fred's got the same phone. Now we roll it out. Yeah. No, but that's the thing. Like, I think when you look at it that way, what if you applied that same principle to real estate? So when you're looking at starting your business, you need those early movers.
Correct.
In your business.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking for.
You need, and getting okay with, in some instances, shelving some of them, because it's recognizing. Here's the thing, though, in that discerning or discriminating approach, where it's like, you're not ready, you're ready, like being able to have that candid conversation, and then being okay with, like, instead of feeling like I needed you to buy, because you do, but instead of feeling that way, you're kind of like, okay, I hear you. You don't feel this yet, so I'm going to put you here, right? And then going to the next, and I think the mark of a great salesperson is someone who can learn to adapt to that quickly. Yeah. Like, and I think sometimes you have to have a few, like, you've got your first, he's got his first deal trying to close.
Yeah, still trying to close it.
It's like chugga. It's this little, like, the little engine that could, like, it's still going. And so, in that case, as you've learned so much from this first deal. I think absolutely, even about your time management, because he's witnessed in this instance a deal that can consume you. Yeah. And in that consumption, what are you not doing? Right.
Looking for other people.
Because you're so consumed with the...
Yeah, and especially when, working dual jobs, having a dual career, and so it's like the free time that I do make in the evenings and on the weekends, when it's consumed from one person because of all the difficulties, it pretty much slows the progress down a little bit. But, I'm always a forward-thinking person.
I love Fred. He's positive. He says, it's okay. Yeah. Bounce back. Yep. Yeah. He's like, it's okay.
I put together a game plan. I'm still putting together a game plan. Like earlier today, before I came here, reached out, put a couple fillers. I have some people in Florida that are arriving this week, and we already had spoken earlier this month that when they arrive, they want to go looking at houses. So I was like, hey, just want to see if you're still thinking about coming in town, and hey, and that house that you spoke about earlier is still available.
Is it still? That's shocking, because
so now, since this deal that I'm working on is beginning to close, and now it's like, whew, now I could go back and find my people, get back in contact with them, because again, it was a lot of, hey, I need you to do this, I need you to put this in, it was a whole lot of...
I don't even think it's and tell me if I'm wrong, because I remember back when I started, it's not even back when I started, I've had those deals even throughout, like, Stephanie and I have tripped up on some of those as we've been moving over the years. And
big shout out to Stephanie.
She's making the time. Like, look. If you're listening in Virginia or Florida, Stephanie's your girl.
Yes.
That woman has worked, and when I say tirelessly, like, Fred, I've had my pre-quals delayed because of your deal.
I know.
Like,
I'm so sorry. You but thank you, Stephanie.
But I need this to close. That's what I was going to say. I'm like, you're just going to get this to close. And so, and that's the thing. Like, sometimes as an agent, you're in a place where you can take on a lot of the heavier, like, let's call those heavier clients, like the ones that need extreme hand holding, and and sometimes you're not. Like, during the pandemic, I couldn't. Right. Like, my deepest desire to help everybody, it wasn't even possible. And to be fair, that first time home buyer didn't even stand a chance. Like, it was almost like I was doing them a favor to say, no, you need to shelf yourself. Like, it is a war out here. You don't need to come be a part of it. You baby, like a little baby, like you don't need. So, for you, like, and Fred and I have talked about this because he does have a day job still. We're trying to work on, that shuffle, how he can take, like, working through those people quicker. So like as you come assessing, and it's funny because whenever it's like, how did you get so successful so fast? And I think back to like the quick moves I made that I almost couldn't teach somebody unless they were to sit and follow me around. And sometimes I'll think about it and be like, oh, I do that all the time. Like one thing I always do is when I get a client, I remember I had you do that huge intake. You ask them 1,000 questions.
Yeah.
You can identify pretty quick. I just got on the phone yesterday with a guy that's looking at land, and he was looking at land in Amherst. He's like, I can't come to the weekend. I said, oh, where do you live? He said, Norfolk. And he's like, yeah, right now I hunt in Charlottesville. So I'm looking anywhere around Charlotte. So all of a sudden I heard his geography expand, and I heard wasted time. He may not be, but when I have to prioritize my day, my time, and my life,
right.
I'm on the phone telling, look, man, I will set you up with an email list of everything that we got around here. And if anything looks like it interests you, you let me know. And that might be the last thing I think about. Because if he doesn't reach out to me, I'm not hunting that one down. He's looking all over Virginia.
Right.
And it's like, but I think when you're fresh out the gate, you're like, it's somebody, and it is.
Yeah.
But that it's somebody is slowing you down from the it's now buddy, like the guy that's like, let's go. So I'm immediately like, okay, I've helped him. I set up who's next?
Yeah, right.
Like, let's move, right?
Yeah.
If you've got someone that's like, yeah, I want to buy in the next year, like, so that's not it. Like, that's not in my mind. I'll set you up with a list and keep, and then I'm okay if they go off to someone else because a year is such a long time. And I don't know that you don't sound committed. I don't know. I want to be committed. Like, it's like dating. It's like you're almost dating every person that you meet.
Yeah.
Like, do we want to hang out with each other for the next year or two? I'm not sure. 60 days, we can hang out for 60 days. Correct. I can hang out for 60 days.
Correct.
Are we going to like each other in a year? I don't know.
Yeah, right.
Like, I think that's a big commitment. In our industry, that's a really big commitment. So, like, these people coming up, like, so that's great, Fred. I didn't even know you had that.
Yeah.
And are they looking for land?
No, they look for a house and with land.
Oh, well, that's fine.
Like, a good 5 to 10 acres or something.
I would say the next thing I've done to move people quicker is that education piece. And I instinctively do this, and I don't know how to teach this to someone, but like, if you've got them coming up, I heard you said house and land, right? The first I'm like, okay, guys, how much do you know about the area? Oh, we're just getting, okay, listen, what's your budget? Here's something I always do. What's your budget? I don't want to spend more than 300. So most agents would go 300. Okay, but they want 5 acres, they want 4 beds, 2 baths. You know what I'm saying? Like, and if you don't know this area, that's like, what? So I'll say, I don't want to crush someone's dreams. So I'm like, okay, I think what we should do first is educate you on our market. And the best way for me to do that is to I'm going to put you to $500,000. Oh, no. I don't want you to spend that. I just want you to see what things are costing, right? And then they're like, I want to be in Forest. I understand. But we'll put you in Lynchburg. We'll get you out in Amherst just so you can compare, just because, because here's the thing. At the end of the day, every single person you talk to is going to have to compromise somewhere.
Yep.
And without saying to them, I'm sorry, you're not a millionaire. You're going to have to compromise. But I even say that to them. I'm like, I have to compromise. Like, I didn't even get my dream home. Right. But closets are still too small. So like I think unless you're building a custom home,
right,
and most people in a lifetime won't even get to that place, you're compromising. And and that helps you. I think the secret to this, knowing when to hold them and knowing when to fold them, is moving through those processes as fast as possible, right? Because the second you hit opposition, if it's enough, you need to pivot. Yeah. Right. Yeah. And then if you hit it again, pivot. And then that's how you can get through them quicker. And I've, these leads come in, like I've had agents, they're like, I got like 30 leads and they're all duds. I'm like, right, get 35. Like, that's the thing. Like, you're going to go through a whole bunch of crap to get to the one. Right. Whole bunch more crap to get to the one. How fast can you go through crap is the question. Like, how quickly can you move through that? The fast, and that's what I realized was like, the quicker I can move through this, the quicker I can get the ones that are ready. Right. Yeah. And that's how I did it quick. Yeah. Yeah. So I'm learning that. I'm learning that process. It's like, and I think, and we spoke about this too, but coming from my personal sales experience, especially in the store setting, like sometimes
we run on rotation. Like, all right, Renee, it's your turn. All right, then I'll go, and then somebody else will go, then someone else will go. Or if it's not, and that's the friendly store environment
approach.
You know, in most cases, if I want to get the next 4 or 5 in a row, and you're just sitting back being lazy, then you can't be mad if I got 4 or 5 sales,
They're
so,
like, how did you do that?
Yeah,
Well, that's the thing. Like, it's like the open house. Like I said to a friend, like, I need an open house on Sunday. He's like, say less.
Yeah.
Because, and then he's just like, I don't understand why that agent's doing so much business. Because they're literally in every space possible to make that move for them.
Yeah.
Like they're literally having every opportunity.
Yeah. And for me, and I still have this hard approach of when I'm getting the leads and I'm getting people who are interested in homes, of learning when to let go, because again, I still have that. I gotta make this one work. I
gotta make this one work.
I gotta make this one work. I gotta make that one work. I gotta make that one work. So I'm already pre-planning and thinking and counting up and accumulating all these sales that hasn't even been put on paper yet, but I'm just counting, like
everyone that comes here, you're like, that's gonna be a sale.
I gotta close this. I gotta close this. I gotta close this. So this is good for me to fill in for Chad, so I can really learn to understand so I don't feel guilty of, okay, Mr. and Mrs. So-and-so, I'm going to have to get back with you in 6 months or so.
Yeah. I've literally said that. I'm like,
but don't close it. Just leave it.
We never close doors.
Yeah. Just leave that open communication still available.
Yeah.
Maybe pop in every now and then just to say hi.
Hey, I do this. I've got clients right now. Remember the Mahalanis that you showed? Yeah, I'll be like, hey, how's it going? I Facebook friend them. It's a great way to comment on their stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, our agent's commenting on things, because you're showing that you're invested in their future, because it's the future for them. But I think also here's the difference in your thinking. So I remember that feeling. I have to make this work. And I was thinking when you said that about what I feel like when the deals come in, and so when the leads come in. So I get a lead and I look and I'm like, I wonder if this will be it. Ring. And then I'm like, I get there, I'm like, nope, not you. There's one, there's one, I just got a message on Facebook and she's like, I want to purchase a home. I said, oh, okay. I said, do you have a lender yet? She's like, no. I said, oh, are you a cash buyer? And she's like, no, I just want to buy a home. I have the first month's payment. I was like,
first month. So what are we going to do about the next 29 years and 11 months?
I said, and you've got to qualify. And I was nicely said, hey, that's renting. So if you want to rent, that's what you want to do. If you want to purchase, we're going to have to get you to a lender.
Right.
So it's like this tiny, but am I going to invest? Like, she reached out to me. I could easily be like, this is my next deal. But I'm listening to her. I'm like, she's probably not even in a position to, make that go further. And so like I gave her direction, assistance, and then moving on, left it. Cause it's like learning to sometimes you're just helping somebody without an end goal, and a lot of times I'll even see like land deals come in and they'll be like, I want to buy a home. I'm a first time home. I want to buy land and build my first house. And I'm like, oh, I'm the first time home buyer.
Yeah. Man, we crush so many dreams, don't we?
They gotta stop watching. They gotta stop watching that HGTV. They gotta stop watching all those TV shows. They gotta stop. My favorite is TikTok. Be telling people how they're gonna buy a house now. TikTok tells people how to do. The one guy's like, I saw on TikTok, and I'm like, okay, see, social media should be the last place you go for an education. It's for fun. So we're battling all this, trying to get people to learn about the process.
Right.
And, so no, I think the first secret is really getting out of your head that anyone coming in is the one. I mean, speaking of TikTok, I did a TikTok on the one. There is no one. What you have to have is a goal every month of what you want to achieve in sales. And then you've got to let go who those people are to make that happen. And until you can actually let go the who and the how of it, you'll never get those monthly goals. You have your focus. It's almost like, here's what you want to close next month, let's say, right? Everything between here and there needs to be gray in your vision. So calls are going to come in, email, like all that. And all you think about every day is, I'm going to close 3 deals. I'm going to close 3 deals. I'm going to close 3 deals. And every time somebody comes up, it's like, are you one of my 3? And then you go through, no, you're not. They like, you know what I'm saying? Like, are you one of my 3? Like, cause you're not attached to how you get there. And when I finally learned how to let go, because why is it humans want to control? When I finally let go of wanting to control from here to there, things actually started to move. Right. So it moved fast. Yeah. I've told the story forever. When I went full time, quit my job, had no second job anymore because I did what you did. It was my first month. I didn't think I could close anything in 30 days. I thought it's going to take 45 to 60. So my second month, it was 2. I said, I will close 2 deals and I will close 5. And then I worked. And I forced myself not to attach to any one person I met that they were I forced myself. And some of them were my September close, or some of them, some of them became later. And that's the exciting thing. It's I still do this every day. I'm in the okay, I need this many for April. And I got one coming in and they're like, they can't close until May. And I'm like, okay, there's my May one. Right. I was like, okay, being just okay with what happens with the process and just holding on to your goals. Right. Yeah. That's how you know when to hold them and fold them, because you're unattached to the outcome.
So are there any any type of examples you can speak of in a general form, so you don't be calling out Mr. and Mrs. So-and-so, that when you hear certain life stories or certain situations, or you might hear a certain word or phrase that will deter you,
So I will speak very candidly, because there have been multiples of situations for me where that happened. So if I hear someone say that they've had a recent bankruptcy, I immediately ask them how long, because they have to be out of it for 2 years. So if they're in it,
you can't do anything,
and they still got to get out and wait. So I had a number of times where we were looking at houses, and I got them finally to Stephanie, and when she finally identified what those questions were, because I didn't even know what to ask, she finally identified those questions. I'm like, it was heartbreaking for everybody. Like, I'm running them around, they can't buy anything, they thought they could, I thought they could, and it's just a mess. So now if I hear bankruptcy, man, you got to be out of it for 2 years. So if it's like, well, how long you been out? Oh, I'm still in it. I'm sorry.
Noted.
I'm sorry.
But no, this is good information to have, because someone like me, I'm sitting here like, oh, okay, well, let's see what we can do.
Yeah, I mean, you're still in it. Maybe once you get out in a couple months, you're like,
but if it needs to be clear for 2 years, then
you got to get out of it and clear. I want to say it's 2 years. It might be one. It might depend on the chapter. Don't quote me. Stephanie can tell you better. But I just know that that's a trigger word. Another trigger word, if they don't, hey, are we up to date on taxes? Oh, I don't want to pay taxes. Oh, okay. So if they don't want to be paying their taxes for whatever reason, you can't get money, especially from a government.
Right.
If you're not paying the government, you gotta
pay Uncle Sam if you need Uncle Sam's money.
It is Uncle Sam time. And it's just, look, death and taxes, you just gotta pay them.
Oh, I know.
And so, if someone, and then the other one, man, like if you meet a job hopper, so I'm not this. We have done deals for restaurant people, but restaurants tough because a lot of times they don't claim their tips. So when you're talking about these jobs where another one that's really tough,
maybe you can pay it under the table.
On the table. Internationals can be tough because they've got visas and I picked up an international and I don't know if it's going to work. So no offense, I'm an international. I feel like I can say it. We're tough. So if I was really busy, these are ones that might be more than I would have time for. The other ones that are really tough are at us. People that are 1099 because we write everything off.
Yeah.
I can't tell you, I'll never forget. I worked one deal with a guy. multi-millionaire for sure. Owns multiple businesses, wanted to buy a house in town. I didn't think it would be a deal breaker at all. For whatever reason, the lender at the time, Stephanie, wasn't licensed, got it took him to almost the end to get his tax information. He wrote so much off, he couldn't afford to buy a house. Loaded. So we like, these aren't people that I say no to, but I like red flags pop up. Right. I'm like, ooh.
So these people wouldn't qualify as your now people, or the ones that you can close in 30 or 60 or 45 days.
Yeah, no, 1099. Yeah. So there's a chance apparently, and so Eric has also licensed his wife, and so apparently
we're gonna bring her on one day.
We'll bring her on this podcast. Yeah, we will. Yeah, we will. So she'll learn that they might be going to no doc loans, which would be the savior for us, because it shows bank statements versus tax. Because we for business, you write so much off. Yeah. So it's not that they're not my now; it's that I will not run around with them until they see a lender. And show all their cards. And if they're not willing to do that, there's something they're not telling you.
Gotcha.
And then you absolutely need to walk. Like, my rule of thumb, I'll take you to a property, but if you're not going to talk to a lender after property 1, you're not that serious, and I have to keep going. And it's not personal. It's not personal. It's just business. I like that. Yeah, it's not personal. I have to keep going, and you probably will buy from somebody one day. But the business I'm running is a now business, and I can't. You know, if you're not, I can't run around with you if you don't want to talk to a lender. Yeah. I'm a little more relaxed as the market's like shifted some, but in your position, I wouldn't relax. You've got a lot going on. Oh yeah. I would just move on. And if you wanted to, if you're really smart, you would find an agent and refer them to somebody. Yeah. If they're not ready, but they're like, you can see they're gonna take more time than you maybe have. Give them to another agent, get a referral on it. An agent who's not got the day job.
There it is.
Wealth and knowledge. Okay, so that is our.
Am I referring agent? It will be. I mean, why not?
I'd be like, where you gotta get me take him?
I like how. Hey, look, Renee. I love your hustle. I love how you just said that, and I'm just like, oh yeah. For a second, I was like, I need to go find another agent to be friends with, and I was like, wait a minute.
He's like processing this. I'm like, hello. I do just this. Well, and music, which is our other podcast. Man. You should totally listen to that
Stay tuned for that too.
It's coming up.
It's coming up next.
All right, so we're gonna do our Fun Fact Friday. Fun Fact Friday. He joined in. So Chad and I chant together. You have to leave.
I'll learn.
You'll learn. Chad, what are we gonna do? So our fun fact for this Friday, we actually had to make it up on the spot because I forgot that Chad always does these fun facts, and I'm like, dang it, what are we gonna do? So Fred had a great one, and this is one that you probably don't even know. Fun fact: did you know that if you go to Kroger, you can Klarna your groceries, meaning you can take your groceries for the week and pay installments on them? But here's the fun part about it. Fred, tell them.
It will hit your credit when you go to close a house. It will show up.
And it could kill
everything.
Do not use them. Don't use them. Fred's like, don't buy the bacon.
Don't
just get the basics.
Just get what you need.
Don't do it with Amazon. Don't do it with. I feel like I've started to see that offer everywhere. They've bought into like anything you could ever purchase. They're willing to give you a payment plan.
And so, and we've all done it. I've done it. And it's interest
deferred
free.
Payment.
Yeah. It's interest free.
Is it?
Yeah. Well, some of them, like the ones that I use.
Okay.
It's interest free. It just takes whatever the total amount is. Like you said, split it up in 4 payments.
Yeah.
I think it comes out like once every 2 weeks or something like that. And it's a good tool. It's good to have, because even like on the other podcast on spending money on equipment, it's like, ooh,
Fred goes, I could get it today.
I don't have that $1,000. $250 every 2 weeks. Say less. Swipe. I'm putting in my information.
The box.
And then I'm looking at my pay stubs. Like, okay, I got paid this week. I'm gonna buy it next week so it can hit. That way, it falls on every time I get paid.
But Fred ain't trying to buy a house.
But I'm not trying to buy a house though. But if you're trying to buy a house, it would definitely mess you up. So,
and we're speaking from personal experience.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it could kill a deal.
Yeah.
Kill it. So, and I think the motto of that story is saddle up next to your lender and ask before you do anything.
Yes.
Like literally, should I put gas in my car this week? Like, it's better to ask than to have that blow up in your face. Yeah. So
I'm broke down on 29. Is it okay to get towed? Yes, it is.
Can I pay for a tow? Yes, but you can't pay to get it fixed. Oh. Till you close.
You get them keys in your hands, then you get your car out the shop. Until then,
take an Uber. Oh man, we had fun. I hope you enjoyed this. Thanks for tuning in. Thank you for joining us, Fred.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, and we'll see you next time.
Bye-bye.
Bye.